Marcus, thank you. New at 6, new initiatives to improve access to local journalism in Wisconsin are underway.
WMTV's Lila Sherry is in the studio to tell us about bills introduced today by Democratic lawmakers.
3 bills were introduced as a part of a local journalism bill package. The goal is to improve access to high quality and consistent local journalism across the state. The first bill in this package looks to encourage more people to chase after careers in local journalism. 25 students would be chosen and matched to participating newsrooms with hopes of building mentorship and community connections for aspiring journalists. The newspaper tax credit bill could allow anyone paying for a newspaper subscription to get 50% of that money back, up to $250 per year. And lastly, the Civic Information Consortium, in partnership with the UW system, would distribute grants to local news and media projects. Lawmakers say a quarter of American newspapers have shut down. And as more local outlet options decrease, 1 in 5 Americans are left in what they call a news desert.
Everyone's impacted by it, and everyone wants a strong local news ecosystem. It's something that we can all relate to, no matter what our political affiliation is, what our job is, what our background is. We just want to know what's happening in our communities. We want to know what our lawmakers and leaders are up to, what's happening in the halls of power.
Wisconsin lawmakers say that other states like New Mexico and California have successfully implemented similar programs to support local journalism and its workforce. Live in the studio, Lila Sherry, WMTV 15 News.